Hey, I'm in my car. I'm in my trunk. I got my seats popped up. Um, ain't gonna get right. I don't know where to set you right now. Just wanna. Everything's gonna. Oh well. Um, I am thinking about taking my seats out. Um, for the first time, I think I'm really considering uh living in my car. I spend some time in my car when I'm sad, especially if I'm coming from somewhere and I'm sad and I'm depressed. As you can see, my eyes are really swollen. I cried uncontrollably all night last night. Not all night, at least for an hour straight of just continuous crying and all of that. And I feel really emotionally vulnerable right now. I went to my psychiatrist appointment at the Harris Center for Mental Health and IDD. That place is literally for when you don't have anything. I would not recommend going to that place if you have other options. But if you don't have any insurance or you have insurance, but um, you just need a quick solution and you can't, like, for example, if you have insurance, you still have to pay whatever your insurance part is. Shit, my foot is itching. Um, so I had a bill of $66, but when I went in, I only had to pay something on it. So, or they give you an option to pay something on it. I just paid $5 on it, and they'll still let you see a doctor. It's like it's not gonna stop because it's a clinic, so it's not gonna stop you from seeing someone because you don't have money. So that's a good thing. Um, it's really discouraging from wanting to see anyone because the intake people are actually really nice. The doctors or the psychiatrists, I haven't been to a therapist, but um, I had a horrible experience. It was horrible to me. It's horrifying to me. Where a therapist was in the lobby talking to another therapist, I assume, a coworker, some sort of coworker, about her patients and talking shit about them. Going as far as at first I thought she was talking about like a family member because she was talking so casually. I was like, maybe she's talking about her like family. That's just what I assumed until she started talking about group therapy and this one patient, so and so. He does a lot of shit for attention, and he always says that he's gonna kill himself or commit suicide, but I don't think he has the courage to do it, and just really disgusting things. That's disgusting to me. You're supposed to be someone, don't get me wrong, we're all human, but you're supposed to be someone who is helping your patients overcome these things. That's your number one priority, is to help them overcome these issues. And then you have the audacity to say that I don't think he has the courage to kill himself. That's really disgusting to me. That's a sign of mental illness, in my opinion. You're talking about the person that you're trying to help. I don't give a fuck what their issue is. You want your goal is to want to see that person win, and you don't give a fuck. I feel like that type of thing. Like it's like a, it would be considered just um, a breach uh, of secrecy. Whatever the word is, where they're not supposed to talk about. This one was talking about this in the lobby with other patients. Now, two clinics in that place. Um, One is a regular clinic. They do blood work and things like that, and they have a regular, you know, regular doctor type clinic, and then they have the medical mental health clinic. And you're talking about that amongst patients, like where patients are sitting in the lobby with your coworker. Now, if you want to talk about that shit, in the break room or on the phone with your coworker, totally fine. Whatever, talk your shit, whatever. Everybody's human. But you're talking about this in front of patients. This is the Hair Center, Mental Health Center for Mental Health and IDD, I believe is what it's called, or DI, or whatever it's called. Um, this is a Houston clinic. I never want to see a therapist there because I've worked a lot of jobs in my life. I've worked probably about 25 jobs in my life, maybe more. And I'll be 32 this month. I've been working since I was 17. I've worked a lot of jobs. And one thing I know is when you walk into a place, you can tell the culture really quickly. You can tell the culture very fast. And that type of thing goes on a lot. Because she was doing it really casually, like just sitting in the lobby shooting the shit with her coworker. I ain't got nothing to do. I just talk, whatever. She does it every day, or just about. And not in hushed tones, loud, like I'm talking, having a conversation with me and you. And I'm sitting in the front seat of the car. That's how close I was. But the whole lobby could hear that. It's absolutely disgusting. And I was supposed to have a therapy session with another therapist. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that lady. Um, but I didn't want to talk to any one of those people there. Um, so I have no idea what the therapist would be like in terms of the lady that I was supposed to talk to. But the doctors I know for sure are just about as dead as me, about as dead inside as me, and is about as interested in your issues as this phone or the wall. Their whole goal is to make sure that you're properly drugged, and that's it. They don't care about what's going on with you at all. I didn't even talk in the session about what happened this morning. I woke up. Well, I wasn't actually asleep. I was falling asleep, and some things hit my mind, and I just started crying uncontrollably. I got out of bed, and I went to the bathroom, and I cried on the toilet and the floor for over an hour at least. At least it had to be an hour. Probably. I feel like it was more. It felt like it was way more. Because when I laid down, when I went back to the bedroom to lay down, it was starting to become light outside. So I had to been in there for a long time, and it was probably about 4:30 or so when I started crying. Something I actually don't know what time it was when I started crying, but I hadn't went to sleep yet though. Um, I just cried uncontrollably, like the biggest, loudest sob. I feel like that cry had been on the way for not just months for sure, but years. Like all the times that I couldn't cry, I did. And it was the deepest, gut wrenching cry that I've ever felt in my life. Um, and my eyes are totally swollen. Like, this isn't so bad. When I woke up, I could barely open my eyes. It's how bad my eyes were swollen. But I just realized that I can't say any time is wasted because nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. Everything has a purpose, everything serves a purpose. But I just feel like I've spent a lot of time currently going in debt because of the issues, because of being unhappy. I love the house that I'm in. I'm in a family home. I'm so grateful for it, and have been spending money to repair it, taking out credit to repair it, and honestly, that was the last thing I wanted to do, um, because this isn't where I want to be, and I cried partly because I'm going into debt for these reasons and for survival, to be able to try to sustain living here and just sustain my life in general. And I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. I love this house, but I don't want to be here. I want to leave. I want to move. Um, but I don't want to move to any certain place. I just want to go. Just want to fucking go. Um, my biggest fear with living in my car, honestly, is not the safety. You would think that would be the biggest fear. Like right now, I'm feeling like I'm starting to feel the panic attack. Not necessarily because I'm what I'm talking about, just because I'm so emotional. But and I'm sorry if I'm talking slow. I honestly, be honest with you, when I'm looking at these videos, I watch them in speed because I feel like I talk kind of slow, but I can't speed up my speech because I need to get everything out. So if you want to speed this up, feel free. um, what the biggest thing I'm afraid of is I have an older car. That's a part of it. I have an older car. Um, being in the summer, being in the winter, and not having, heat or cold, um, being cold in the winter and not really having a way to heat up my car when I'm here and I'm sleeping. Um, but at this point, I don't really care because I am not happy. I'm not happy, and that's the only thing I've ever thought about. Only thing I've ever wanted to do. I've always wanted to do like RV living, van living, but I have a little SUV and it's almost 20 years old. 2005. Yeah. It's almost 20 years old. So it's still in pretty good condition. I've had a lot of work done on this car. I'm so grateful for my father who's done a lot of work and spent a lot of money. And that's another thing. I think that is the biggest thing that I feel the most depressed about is being someone who is neurodivergent, ADHD, autistic. Um, I feel a lot of guilt for the burdens that I've put on my family, my mother, my father, for helping me out over the years when I could not sustain a job more than a year or more than 6 months, sometimes most of the time less. Um, my last regular job was about 8 months, not, no, about 10 months. And only reason why is because it was a part-time job. And I can sustain part-time jobs better than full-time. Um, I have a really hard time with the constant having to be on 2 days a week off is not enough time. I feel like I need more time during the day to be off. I don't know, I just have a really hard time being on. Um, and then after so many months, I'll start going. Like I was trying to explain that this lady. The last time I talked to her, I was asking, did they have a way for them to do neurological testing for adult ADHD, adult autism? Because I haven't been formally diagnosed, but looking at my life and doing my own research is complete. It's odd. It's It's totally obvious. Um, Even my mother has made comments about that over the years. Well, we both have. It's not like she was trying to be funny. I've said that. And she's like, yeah, I think you might be. We've kind of joked about it, but I feel like it's more true now than ever. I feel like the 31 years, almost 32 years that I have been here, and all that I'm going through right now is a result of not knowing, not knowing how to process my emotions through this lens of neurodivergency, always expecting myself to be neurotypical or normal like other people, and me expecting that of myself and it never happening. And that is the source, that's the initial source of depression, is not being able to sustain like other people. Other people can go to jobs for years and just be okay. Maybe it's even autistic people, if they find something that they really like. I believe my father's autistic. He probably wouldn't take too well to that, but I believe he is. He's a mechanic, so he found something that he could do. He doesn't have to interact with people so much. He can just do his work and he's good at what he does. And some people can go under the radar and just um, find something they love and be able to sustain. But that doesn't, being able to sustain really doesn't have anything to do with whether you're autistic or not. But that's how they base autism, is if there's a problem. But anyways, expecting one thing of myself and never being able to do it. Expecting myself to be able to function like everybody else and it not happening for 31 years. That's the source of my depression. Because I don't know how to navigate. I've never been taught how to navigate any other way of being. Because no one knows. And that's what I struggle with. I don't know how to navigate life like everyone else. After so many months, especially working a full time job, I become very burnt out. I was trying to explain that to her. She's like, oh, that's just a result of being depressed. Lady, don't even know the source of depression. Just taught that depression just is. There's a reason. There's a reason behind it. The reason for me starts at not being able to function like everyone else and expecting that of myself, not not doing it successfully and feeling depressed about it because I don't know how else to be. I don't know how else to navigate. This world isn't made for neurodivergent people. It's made for people who can work like cogs continually for years and doing the same thing every day, or if not the same thing every day, the same type of job every day. And that's just not me. The ADHD part of me also takes over with that as well. Um, I have moments where I'm able to super focus and moments where it's hard to focus on anything. But doing the same thing, not just the same thing every day, but the same way. And the next source of depression is just not feeling like I have value here. Um, Obviously, not obviously, maybe you don't know. I feel like I'm hella valuable. I feel like I'm a gift to this place, but I feel like I don't have the opportunity to really thrive the way I want to because this little thing is always gnawing at my neck, which is money, life, finances. This thing that you have to continually chase to achieve some goal of survival. That thing is always gnawing at me, and when I get into modes where I'm creating amazing things, that thing is always at the nipping at the back of my neck, like, hey, I need your soul. I need your life force. Um, and I could never really soar like I want to, you know. I feel like I have so much to give, but I don't know how to give it in a way that can sustain me. I'm a creative. I feel like I would be an amazing counselor. I don't know if I'd want to be a doctor, but definitely a counselor. But I have issues when it comes to math. Um, I was never able to get past remedial college math. Like college algebra, I was never able to get to college algebra. Um, I don't understand it, to be honest. For the basic stuff, yes, but once it starts to get more complicated, I had two classes before college algebra. I got to the last class and I just couldn't pass it. Like I just at some point I just stopped understanding. Like the logic, it's like the things wasn't computing. And you could go to the library and get tutored, but they don't really tutor you. They just tell you the answer and tell you how they got it. But that doesn't help me understand how to get it for myself. Um, it's funny because when I remember now, I know that there was this autistic guy who, on the outside, I think he was either autistic or I think he had Down syndrome, and he was more high functioning, or yeah, he was more of a high functioning person. Like on the outside, he just looks Down syndrome, but when he talks very proper, and he's like one of those people who has a thing that's amazing, and he was really good at math, and he would be teaching people how to do math in the library. But I don't understand it. Like I would need someone to sit with me through every single class, through every single, maybe not sit with me physically, but through the homework. I would need someone to sit with me through every single page, every single problem, to help me understand how all these things put together. When the process is one, two, three, it's easy for me. But once you start getting into like percentages and when they start adding letters and shit, that shit just don't like when they teach you how to do the number tree and all that shit, I can get that, but once you start going further into college algebra, it should be something that's integrated into your mind. So once you start doing more complicated problems, you refer back to that in your mind to get prime numbers or the base number or all kind of shit like that. That just don't make sense to me at all. That don't compute. Like as much as I try to I will remember they would I would sit with them because I've always had issues with math even before college. Um, I just it didn't get that complicated until high school. And when high school came, I had all AP classes, but I had to have regular math classes because they were just too complicated. I just didn't. I couldn't do AP. But I don't know, somewhere in either the study, I took the class twice for sure. I want to say three times, but I remember specifically taking it twice. I think I don't know how it works now, but back then you could only drop a class so much, and then something would happen. I don't remember. That was back in 2012, 13, something like that. So who knows? Over 10 years ago now. Almost 10 years now. Um, but at some point in the class, I just stopped. It's like it just started to move too fast. Like once we got past the basics of how to do the problems and things like that, I couldn't keep up. Like I don't know. I don't understand it. And in college, it's not like high school where you can say, I don't get it, teacher. They're just like, you have to go figure it out. So I would need someone to sit with me through every single problem and have amazing amount of patience to help me understand how to get the answers to the problems, because I never understood. It's like, how did you get that number? Oh, well, because this equals that, and this is the base of that. I'm like, the fuck does that mean? Like, I just assume what? I just assume this number is assume. I can't assume anything. You have to give me steps. I need steps. I can't do assumptions when it comes to math. When it comes to anything else in my life, I can assume everything. Most of my life has been, all the things that I've ever taught myself how to do has been based watching other people do it and trying my own hand about it, and being able to do it that way. Anything artistic in any way, shape, or form has always been being able to try and have some sort of steps that I put in my head together. Once math starts getting complicated and there's no steps and there's like, well, assume this or because this is the base of that, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck that means. So because of that, I haven't pursued counseling, which I do want to one day become a counselor, because I know that I'm a healer and I have something amazing to give people, to help people process their issues. And I feel like I take healing of myself seriously, and I take healing of others seriously. Personally, not personally in terms of I have to do it for you, but personally in terms of I hold space for you because I've been where you are, or I've been in a place similar, and I understand what it feels like to not have support. These people, they treat this job like some random desk job. You are in the business of healing minds, but that's not what they're here to do. They're only here to drug you, and it physically disgusts me and it infuriates me, because from what I know spiritually and whatever I was beyond this life, to be a healer is one of the most honored positions and also the hardest position that a person could be in. You are in a space where your community thinks highly of you, and they put their trust in you when they come to you when they're sick, physically or mentally ill. They come to you for help, and you hold space for them, and you honor them. You honor their decision to come to you. It's an honor that someone would want to come to me and feel that I could provide something for them, to give them something that they feel like they need. I have something to give that they feel like they need. And I feel it's a high honor to bless this person with my gift of healing, but also to be of service to them. That's the highest honor in the world. But people don't look at it that way. They look at it as some textbook that they can read and dissect shit from. And, you know, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry, because it really pisses me off how these people are given this authority and they have no respect for the people that they're treating. No respect at all. Like you're just some number or some animal or some shit. You know, you're not even... She's, in her mind, already figured out what's going on. Oh, you're just depressed. There's a fucking reason why people are depressed. She's clearly depressed. Well, I see it. Whatever her issues are, she's literally these glasses. These glasses to my face. That's how available. She's as available as this fucking seat that I'm holding this phone up on. And it just disgusts me. And I wanted to get another... This is how I know it's fucked up. I wanted to get another doctor when I was trying to make a point. They had already made an appointment for me. I didn't even know. But when I was trying to make an appointment, I wanted to request another doctor. Before, I think I could talk to my caseworker about it. But when I was talking to the appointment setter, she was like, oh, well, you have to tell your doctor that you want another doctor because they switch patients among themselves. What? Doesn't even make sense. If I don't want to talk to a person, why the fuck would I tell them, hey, I don't want to talk to you, send me to somebody else? I don't want to talk to you. So obviously I would go talk to someone else myself. It's just that kind of stuff. It's just, I don't like it. And shout out to the people who do take this role seriously and hold space for people in a beautiful way. Shout out to you all. I wish that you were more known. I wish I knew who you are. I would go to you. But also, I have a bone to pick with a lot of you. And I get it. These insurance companies are bullshit. But a lot of these amazing, and I'm going to say amazing in this way, not to be insulting, but just to make a point, these amazing healthcare workers, mental health doctors and counselors, a lot of them don't accept insurance. A lot of them you have to pay out of pocket if they're really good. To me, you're not that good. Not because of however your pay standards are, that's totally understandable, but who are you trying to help? If your interest is only to help rich people and people who have the means, then you're not a healer. That's just my opinion. Coming from someone who's dealing with this, but also sees the degradation in my community and around me, seeing all these people who need love and who need someone to hold space for them, and there's no one available who is a great healer. That's not community. That's not what the medicine women and men of years before were. They didn't discriminate against their community based off of who had money and who didn't. It was anyone who needed, they gave what they could give and they helped them, because that's what a real healer is. They're going to do their job whether the money is there or not. But like I said, we live in a world where money rules everything. But in the very least, for me, if I was a counselor who was amazing, I would take my normal clients, but I still want to create a way where people who don't have that same amount of money can have access to me, because there's so many people in our communities, especially, it really pisses me off when it's black people, like really amazing black counselors and coaches and all of that. I get coaches don't support insurance, things like that. You have to be somebody who's certified. But it's like your people need you and you are not available. Who are you helping? Who are you helping? You're not helping anybody. Because the people who have it, they have it. And the people who don't, where these lives are continuing to repeat themselves over and over with their children and their grandchildren, these are the people who need you. Like, I don't give a fuck if they have $2 to their name. If I feel like I can at least hold a space for them to feel loved. Love is not taught in these schools. It's not a part of the curriculum at all. And that is the biggest part of healing. That's what makes healing work, is love and holding space in love. And that doesn't exist here. And that's something that I would like to change while I'm still here on this earth. I don't know if I can, but I at least want to be the example. I could become a coach and all of that, and I have to learn how to promote myself and things like that. It's kind of the reason why I got off social media, because all of that is a racket as well. I have to figure all of that out in time. But it's just so many people that need help. I feel like I'm very lucky, and I know that I'm very lucky because of my situation. But even more so, I'm a self-starter, and I'm going to do everything in my power to help myself, because I know that no matter how amazing a person is, they don't have the answers on how to heal me or fix me. Oh, my phone is getting hot. Hold on. Sorry, I had to come inside. This video is running long, but I just need to talk about this. It was getting hot in my car. I could have rolled the windows down, but I'm like, I'll just come inside. I don't remember what the hell I was saying. But anyways, holding space for people, giving people love. That's what people need. Compassion. And I get it becomes monotonous after a while. It's still work, but when it's purposeful work, I feel like a lot of the doctors, mental health and physical health, do not deserve to be doctors. A lot of them are disgusting. There's some really great doctors, some really amazing people in the medical field in all areas, but there are a lot of disgusting people who do not deserve the title. Um, just because you can learn a lot of facts does not make you a healer. It just makes you a person who knows a lot of facts. Healing a person, which is not actually taught, is taught to minimize symptoms, but healing a person, actually helping them heal. Well, I was saying that I do everything in my possible, in my, everything, I'm sorry, everything possible that I can do to help myself, because I know that no matter how gifted a person is, the only healing that's going to come about is the one that I give myself. I'm the only one who can make decisions for myself and heal myself. That's getting on my nerves. I'm the only one who can heal me, who can accept the healing and the love. So I do whatever possible, and then when I'm beyond that, then I go see someone else for help. But it's really sad because there's so many people who need help, and even though help is there, they won't get it. They'll never get it. The irony about it is that the people who, I think I said that before, the people who do the intake work when you first sign up they were actually the most helpful. They actually let me get some of it out. The lady, it was a black lady in there. I think she was just a counselor, or I don't know what they call the people who help you sign up and all of that. But she was actually really kind, and it was a guy who did further information. He was absent, but he was still kind, you know. And they were more helpful than the doctor. But anyways, a lot of these people don't deserve the title. They don't deserve it. At most, they should be paper pushers, because they don't possess the emotional and spiritual capacity to be a healer, to help a person be encouraged to want to help heal themselves, because that's really what it's about. My goal is to, even with my content, is to help a person realize what they're capable of, and to help give them, whether it's through my art or talking or whatever, guideposts on how to heal themselves and how to be better. Excuse me. In the best possible way. Empowerment, love, holding space. I'm gonna be a counselor one day, but until I get the help that I need to get past hurdles like math, which is, I don't think has anything to do with counseling, but in order to be a counselor, you have to have a bachelor's degree, I believe. And I'm pretty much done with my basics. I did all of my basics years ago. I only needed 3 credits to get my associate's degree, which was my 2 math classes and government. I believe I didn't do government. Maybe it was 4. Well, I take that back. Well, something like that. I had to do math. I had to do like government or something. And then had to finish my science. I think I got like a C. I was not committed that last year. I didn't give a fuck about anything that people was talking about. I never really wanted to go to school in the first place. I really just wanted to be an artist, and that's it. But I do realize I have more than that to give. So math, so government, and some sort of science. Probably I was in biology the last year, which I think I would do very well at that now, because I love biology and I just feel like I would do well now. But those 2 things, government and biology, I would be good at that. But the math is what I struggle with to get my associates, which is the basics. It's basically a bachelor's degree anyway. But and if I would have done another semester of art, I could have got a bachelor's in art. That would have been another another 3 credits, 3 or 4 credits to get a bachelor's degree. Um, but you can't pass any of that without math. The rest of that is, I could do it all in a semester. The math, I don't know. But anyways, I feel like that's a part of the issues with people who are neurodivergent and people who just in general have issues with certain subjects. Could be amazing at something, but something small and big as a math class stops that from happening. But that's a me thing that I'll have to figure out at some point. I couldn't afford to pay anybody to sit with me that many hours. I don't know. I don't know how that would work out. Like, this is really discouraging, and I just kind of gave up on the whole thing years ago. But that is something that I want to do. I really don't have any interest on giving out any of that crappy ass medication. I actually don't want to take it, but I realize that in order for me to be able to get through the next steps, whatever this life is going to throw at me, I'm considering my options on what I want to do for work. I don't want to do any of it, to be honest, but I've acquired way too much debt in the past year, not even a full year. I've been basically debt free for 30 years, at least 10 of my adult life, and I've accrued so much debt in the past year, and that's not gonna fly. So I may go back to driving. I never wanted to drive again, to be honest with you. I actually love driving, but I I don't like the schedule of being a driver. That's bad lighting. You don't have any freedom over your life, and I don't like that. But I guess the news about that is that I have set aside all of my pursuits for art and things like that. I'm still going to do art, but I set that down. It's become too much. I talked about that in my last video. I don't have any interest in any of that right now. I just want to be better. I want to live a better life. I want to have joy in my life. I don't want to be under all this ridiculous debt. It's not crazy amount of debt, but it's a ridiculous amount of debt for me. But I know that if I had the right job, I could pay it all off in a year. Because it's just me. Only thing I worry about is my cats. I love my cats. And if I really went on the road, I have to leave them here, and I don't like that. I really would like to have someone who could take them temporarily, and they be in that home with them, like 2 cats were there together and it's just them two, or maybe one other cat or something like that, or a dog. Well, I don't know how a dog will work. They've never been around a dog, but I think a gentle dog would be fine. But one other cat or something, they just really need someone who could take care of them. You know, my mom already has lots of cats, but I just want them to have someone who would take care of them, honestly, better than I do. Because sometimes when I'm in these mental states, it's hard for me to give them the care that they need, and I really want someone who can really love them and take care of them and make sure they're good. I do not want to leave them in this house, even though I could have, someone come and check on them, clean their food and litter and all that. They need love. They need interaction. And I would, just like how you would never leave your kids alone in a house for weeks and months, I would never do that to my cats. They need to be with someone. And no matter where this road takes me, I know I'm going to have to find, unless something else, some other miracle happens, I'm going to have to find them somewhere they could be temporarily until I can get all my shit together. So we're going to put that in the universe, to have someone who is willing to take them together and they be in a safe, children free environment. That's important too because they're used to quiet environments. Or if they're around children, grown children, children who are like 10 plus. Um, I don't want to give them away. They just need to be kept. I would be happy to pay for them to pay for their stay monthly, all that they need. And so I'm putting that out in the universe. A nice home for my kitties till I figure out what's next. Because regardless of whether I drive or even just go live in my car, I can't take them with me. But anyways, that was a long video and I'm not cutting shit. So I said exactly what I needed to say. So that's what's going on with me. I am going to take a nap or something. I'm a combination of not sleepy and totally exhausted at the same time. Um, yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.